This one's going out to Senior Federal District Judge Terrence W. Boyle in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals up in Virginia and the United States Supreme Court. The government's sewers, the government's sewage is what's spreading the death and the infections all over the United States. I have an attorney. She's a mature and she's a well-educated attorney from Florida. Her name is Ann Pellegrino, and she wrote me last night that yours truly has been right all along, because during this massive spread of the infection and these massive deaths all over the world, the government's sewers and their combined sewage overflows are spreading the virus all up and down the rivers and all in the harbors and estuaries and the offshore in Tampa and all up the eastern seaboard, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Toronto, Montreal, all up and down the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence Seaway and the Bay of Fundy, and the list just goes on and on all over the world. President Donald Trump and Senior Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, listen up. All of this sewage is being spread by the government itself. The government that's getting filthy fat cat rich off all this death and taxation, and the interest on all this stimulus money, and the vast, massive profits from the hospitals and death taxes and probating estates in the courts. Terrence W. Boyle, the case that I filed against New York State and Governor Cuomo, the case that I filed where they're intentionally using Lake Champlain as a big septic tank, as a giant cesspool, those facts are true. And Judge Terrence W. Boyle, they're doing it all over the planet, the governments. The central governments and their damn death machine. This is, population control? Terrence W. Boyle? Or is it just saving industry and big corporations gazillions of dollars because they can dump all their toxins and sewage and ilk and chemicals and all their trash into the waterways of America? Terrence W. Boyle. Now I got a message for the American people. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Your government is spreading the death like Andy Cuomo and Donald Trump in the sewers of Manhattan. Where do you think all that sewage is going, Donald Trump? You're the big real estate developer and you're the expert and the best at everything. Why don't you take 20 minutes out of your schedule and go on national television with me, with Terrence W. Boyle, and we'll bring some scientists and a few environmental health attorneys, and we'll talk about all the government sewage that's being dumped into the environment, making millions of people sick and dead. Terrence W. Boyle. And to the American Bar Association, where's the goddamn bar lawyers that are exposing this? Yeah, they're nowhere in sight, are they, American Bar Association? Because y'all a bunch of freaking trash. And I'm sick of it. The bats that live in the sewers in Wuhan, China. Gee, imagine that. The bats that live in sewers all over the world. Terrence W. Boyle. And you know something? This garbage comes up in sewer gas. In other words, if you don't have a proper P-trap, or what's known also as an S-trap, in your sanitary stacks, in your apartment complexes and homes and office buildings and such, all this virus from the government sewers, the government's sewage is killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Judge Terrence W. Boyle, the whole federal district in North Carolina, and especially all those justices on the Fourth Circuit Court in Charlotte, Virginia. You people are twisted and sick in the head. And you're liars, and you're thieves, and you're murderers. Terrence W. Boyle, you are being called out, Judge Boyle, and if you don't like it, too bad. Who owns all that sewage and whose sewers are dumping it into the environment, making huge numbers of people sick and dead? Judge Terrence W. Boyle. Have a very nice day. We will be seeing you up the road.